Phone cameras have come so far that you may never want to switch to a DSLR. I remember when I first started learning surface-based photography, portrait mode wasn't even a thing. The only way to blur the background was by painting over the background with your finger, so you can imagine how realistic it was when you were photographing flowers. In this short lesson, I'm going to show you how to take full advantage of your phone and how to choose between portrait mode and Lightroom Mobile. If you're watching this from the future, technology and interfaces probably have changed a bit, but the principles are likely, and hopefully, still the same. Before you take any photos, start by cleaning your lens. This one sounds like a no-brainer, but it's something I didn't used to do. If you take a look at your lens right now, I guarantee it's covered in fingerprints. So just wipe it down with a dry microfiber or lens cloth. For really sticky substances, use a drop of distilled water. Next, decide whether to use portrait mode or Lightroom Mobile. The advantages of portrait mode are that it does an amazing job blurring the background and it lets you control the f-stop. Lightroom Mobile can blur the background, but you don't get to choose the level. A downside of portrait mode is that you can't custom white balance, at least not yet. Portrait mode can also be bad with glassware and complicated shapes with fuzzy edges or space between them, like overlapping flower stems. To choose between them, take the same test shot using portrait mode and Lightroom Mobile and see which you prefer. If the whites and colors look good with portrait mode and the contour of everything looks normal, you may want to go with portrait mode, knowing that you can make any small exposure and color adjustments in editing. If your photo is looking way too blue or yellow, or you're getting bizarre contours, go with Lightroom Mobile and use the focus function to create a pretty decent blur. If you're using Lightroom Mobile, select Pro Mode, then WB. Select the eyedropper and hold a gray card a few inches in front of the lens. Take a photo with the gray card filling the box. Your white balance is now set for your specific lighting conditions. Next, apply a rule of thirds grid. Line the horizon of the surfaces along the bottom line. From this menu, you can also set a timer if you're using a tripod. This will prevent motion blur from touching the shutter button. Next, decide whether you want to shoot in automatic mode, where the camera controls the shutter speed and ISO, in shutter priority, where you select the shutter speed and the camera selects the ISO, or full manual, where you control both. Moving the shutter speed slider off auto puts it into shutter priority, and moving both the shutter speed and ISO sliders off auto puts it into manual. Next, tap the plus sign and place the green lines around your subject, keeping them off the background as much as you can. If your lighting conditions allow, decrease the exposure slightly. It'll look dark right now, but we can fix that in editing. Remember that decreasing exposure in camera gives us more editing freedom later. Now, consider flipping your phone like this to take truly eye-level photos. Flipping your phone puts the lens in line with your scene rather than facing downward, which makes your subject look more majestic. Here's the difference a flip makes. And if you have a pop socket like this, the flip is especially easy. And that's really it. That's how you get the most out of your phone camera and take photos that look as close to DSLR quality as possible. If you find yourself longing for more control, or you're struggling with portrait mode's glass and white balance struggles, watch the next bonus lesson to see if upgrading to a DSLR is right for you.